Officer Harper spots a bobcat clinging desperately to a car during a massive flood, resisting all attempts to be rescued. When officers move in to help, they realize the animal isn't just trapped, it's fighting and desperate to guard something inside the car. Then Harper notices the collar around its neck. This is no wild animal, and when he finally breaks through the car's window and sees what's inside, his blood runs cold. What is this bobcat protecting? Why has it refused to abandon this sinking car? Stay to the end, because this bobcat knows something the police don't, and time is running out. Before we start, hit the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. The morning sun painted the Tennessee hills in brilliant gold, its rays cutting through the lingering mist that clung to the Cumberland River Valley. Officer Marcus Harper squinted against the glare as he guided his rescue boat through what had once been downtown Riverside's main street. The unprecedented flooding had transformed the quiet mountain town into a churning inland sea, with only rooftops and the occasional street sign marking where civilization used to be. Another sweep down Maple Avenue. His partner, Officer Tom Bradley, called out over the motor's rumble. Then we'll head back. Most folks got out yesterday. Harper nodded, adjusting his grip on the throttle. He'd been with the Riverside Police Department for 15 years, and this was the worst flooding he'd ever seen. 3 days of torrential rain had overwhelmed the dam system upstream, sending walls of water cascading through communities that hadn't seen flooding in generations. The bright morning light revealed the disaster's full scope. Cars submerged up to their roofs, debris floating like miniature islands, and the occasional household item bobbing past like a surreal parade. A child's bicycle, a rocking chair, someone's collection of garden gnomes, still somehow grouped together as if refusing to be separated even in catastrophe. "Wait," Bradley suddenly said, pointing ahead. "You see that?" Harper followed his partner's gesture and spotted something peculiar about 50 yards away. A sedan, partially submerged with water lapping at its windows, had something on its roof. At first glance, it looked like debris, but as they drew closer, Harper realized it was moving. "Is that a cat?" Bradley asked, reaching for the binoculars. Harper cut the engine to idle, letting them drift closer. Through his own binoculars, he could make out the creature more clearly, and his breath caught. "That's no house cat. That's a bobcat." The wild feline was pressed flat against the car's roof, its distinctive spotted coat matted with water, tufted ears pinned back against its skull. Its powerful paws were spread wide, claws seemingly embedded in the metal as if it could anchor the vehicle through sheer will. The animal's eyes, when they caught the light, blazed with a desperate intensity that made Harper's chest tighten. "Poor thing must have gotten trapped by the flooding," Bradley said. "We should call animal control." "They're overwhelmed with livestock rescues," Harper replied, steering closer. "Besides, look at it. That cat's not just scared, it's guarding something." As their boat approached, the bobcat's head swiveled toward them, lips pulling back to reveal impressive fangs. A low, rumbling growl carried across the water, primal and warning. But the animal didn't flee. Instead, it pressed itself lower against the car as if trying to shield it with its body. "Easy there," Harper called out in a soothing voice, though he knew wild animals rarely responded to human attempts at comfort. "We're trying to help." The boat bumped gently against the car's side. The impact sent ripples through the water, and the vehicle shifted slightly, sinking another inch. The bobcat yowled, a sound that raised the hair on Harper's arms, not just fear, but anguish. "Tom, there's something wrong here," Harper said, studying the scene. The car's windows were fogged from inside, making it impossible to see within. But the Bobcat's behavior, the way it kept looking down at the windshield, then back at them, seemed almost deliberate. "You think someone's in there?" Bradley's voice dropped to a whisper. Harper was already reaching for the boat hook. "Only one way to find out. Keep the boat steady." As he extended the pole toward the car, intending to tap on the window, the Bobcat erupted into action. It lunged at the hook, batting it away with surprising force, then resumed its position, growling more intensely. But even in its aggression, it wouldn't leave the car. "Marcus," Bradley said slowly, "look at its neck." Harper focused on the animal again and felt his stomach drop. There, partially hidden by wet fur, was a collar. Not a tracking collar used by wildlife services, but a regular pet collar, blue with what appeared to be a small bell. Someone's pet? Bradley wondered aloud. Or someone's secret, Harper muttered. He made a decision. "I'm going in." "Marcus, that's crazy." But Harper was already pulling on his water rescue vest, double-checking the straps. "That Bobcat knows something. Look at it, Tom. It's not trying to attack us, not really. It's trying to protect that car." The September water was shockingly cold despite the sunny morning. Harper gasped as he lowered himself in, grateful for the vest's buoyancy. He swam the few feet to the car, very aware of the Bobcat tracking his every movement from above. "Easy," he said again, reaching for the driver's side door handle. It was locked. Of course it was. He moved to the window, using his flashlight to pierce through the fog on the glass. What he saw inside made his blood run cold. A jacket. A woman's jacket, purple with distinctive silver studs along the collar, draped over the passenger seat. But it wasn't just any jacket. Harper recognized it immediately. He'd seen it just 3 days ago, worn by Luna Cliff at the station's Labor Day barbecue. Luna, Officer Daniel Cliff's daughter, who'd been reported missing 2 days ago, right before the flooding started. "Tom!" Harper shouted. "Radio for backup, now!" The Bobcat must have sensed his urgency because its growling intensified. But now Harper understood. This animal wasn't wild. This was connected to Luna somehow. "What is it?" Bradley called out. "It's Luna Cliff's jacket. She's been missing since Sunday." Harper didn't wait for a response. He pulled out his window punch, a small emergency tool every officer carried. "Sorry about this," he said to the Bobcat, which was now pacing frantically above him. The window shattered inward with a crystalline crash, safety glass pellets scattering across the water's surface. Reaching inside, Harper grabbed the jacket. It was heavier than it should have been. He felt the pockets and pulled out a purse. Luna's purse, her driver's license visible through a clear pocket. His hands shook as he held it up for Bradley to see. The Bobcat let out a sound that was almost a scream, lunging toward Harper with such force that it nearly slipped off the car's roof. But instead of attacking, it reached for the jacket, its paws batting at it almost gently. "You knew her," Harper whispered, understanding flooding through him. "You're trying to help." Making a split-second decision that would have given the department's insurance company a heart attack, Harper reached up toward the Bobcat. "Come on, we'll find her together." The animal hesitated, yellow eyes meeting his. Then, as the car shifted again, sinking deeper, the Bobcat made a choice. It leaped, not at Harper, but into the rescue boat, landing with a heavy thud that made Bradley scramble backward. "Marcus, what are you doing?" "Trust me." Harper swam back to the boat, Luna's jacket and purse clutched against his chest. Bradley helped haul him in while maintaining a wary distance from their unusual passenger. The Bobcat had pressed itself into the corner of the boat, eyes fixed on the jacket in Harper's hands. "Get us back to the station," Harper ordered, wringing water from his uniform. "Fast." The ride back was surreal. The bright morning sun climbed higher, turning the floodwaters into a mirror of gold and blue, while their boat carried perhaps the strangest rescue team in Tennessee history. 2 cops and a Bobcat, united by a missing girl's belongings. At the makeshift command center set up in the Riverside High School gymnasium, Officer Daniel Cliff was coordinating search efforts when Harper burst through the doors, still dripping, Bradley close behind carrying a pet carrier they'd borrowed from the animal shelter. "Daniel!" Harper called out. "We found something." Cliff turned, his face haggard from 2 days without sleep, 2 days of searching for his daughter. When he saw the jacket in Harper's hands, his knees nearly buckled. "Where?" he whispered, then louder. "Where did you find this?" "In a car, out on Maple Avenue. But Daniel, there's more." Harper quickly explained about the Bobcat, its collar, its desperate protection of the vehicle. Cliff was already pulling out his phone, his hands trembling as he opened Luna's social media accounts. She never mentioned a Bobcat, never mentioned... Wait. He scrolled through her Instagram, past photos of Luna at college, Luna with friends, Luna at family gatherings. Then he stopped, frowning. "Look at this," he said, showing Harper the screen. "This account, Culligan_wildlife_85. They've commented on almost every post for the past 6 months. Heart emojis, inside jokes." Bradley was already at a computer, running the name Culligan through the system now. After a few tense moments, he looked up. "Got 1 hit in the area. Jake Culligan, 24 years old. Address is 445 River Road." "That's in the flood zone," Harper said. "And he has a record," Bradley continued. "Minor stuff mostly, but Marcus, there's a flag here from Fish and Wildlife. Suspected involvement in illegal animal trafficking. Never proven, charges dropped." Cliff was already heading for the door. "We're going, now." "Daniel, wait," Harper tried to reason. "We need to do this right." "That's my daughter." Cliff's voice cracked. "She's been missing for 2 days. Her jacket was in a sinking car with a Bobcat wearing a collar, and now we find she's been talking to someone suspected of trafficking wild animals? We're going." Harper exchanged a look with Bradley, then nodded. "Tom, stay here and coordinate with state police. We might need medical." The drive to River Road was treacherous, their SUV pushing through 2 feet of standing water in places. The sunny morning seemed to mock their urgency, painting everything in cheerful light while Harper's mind raced with dark possibilities. In the back, secured in the carrier, the Bobcat made soft, anxious sounds. The house at 445 River Road was a modest 2-story structure, water lapping at its foundation. A young man was on the porch, frantically trying to sandbag the door, a futile effort given that water was already seeping through the walls. "Jake Culligan?" Harper called out as they waited from the vehicle. The young man spun around, nearly dropping the sandbag. He was thin, disheveled, with wild eyes that immediately fixed on Officer Cliff's uniform. What do you want?" His voice was high, scared. Cliff held up Luna's purse. "Where is she?" The color drained from Culligan's face. He took a step backward, hit the door, and seemed to realize he had nowhere to run. "Please," he whispered. "It's not what you think." "Then tell us what it is." Cliff surged forward, but Harper caught his arm. "Jake," Harper said, using his calmest voice, the one reserved for talking people off ledges. "Luna's been missing for 2 days. We found her things in a flooded car. There was a Bobcat protecting it. You need to tell us everything, right now." Culligan's shoulders slumped. She's here, in the basement. But the water..." His voice broke. "I've been trying to get to her, but the basement flooded yesterday. I don't know if..." Cliff shoved past him, bursting through the door. Harper followed, splashing through ankle-deep water in the living room. Culligan led them to a door near the kitchen, water seeping from underneath it. "I locked it," Culligan said miserably. "After she found out about everything. I panicked. I was going to let her go, I swear. But then the rain started and wouldn't stop, and the basement started flooding. And I tried to get down there, but..." Cliff slammed his shoulder against the door. It held. Harper joined him, and together they forced it open, releasing a rush of murky water that nearly knocked them over. The smell hit them immediately. Mildew, fear, and something else. Animal musk. The basement stairs descended into darkness, the water level about halfway up. Without hesitation, Cliff plunged in, Harper right behind him. The water was chest-deep at the bottom, cold and opaque. They felt their way along, calling Luna's name. "Here!" Cliff's voice was strangled. "She's here." In the far corner, on top of a workbench that had become an island, Luna Cliff lay unconscious. She was pale, her lips tinged blue. But when Cliff pressed fingers to her neck, he sobbed with relief. "She's alive! She has a pulse!" Working together, they carried her through the water, up the stairs, into the bright morning light streaming through the windows. Harper was already on his radio calling for medical transport while Cliff performed basic first aid, trying to warm his daughter, checking for injuries. Luna's eyes fluttered open just as the sirens became audible in the distance. She looked up at her father, confusion giving way to relief, then fear. "Dad?" Her voice was barely a whisper. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." "Shh, baby. It's okay. You're safe now." "The Bobcat," she said urgently, trying to sit up. "Storm. Did Storm get out? Jake said the flooding would..." "I couldn't leave him." Harper thought of the Bobcat and the carrier in their vehicle, the way it had protected Luna's belongings with such fierce determination. "He's safe. We have him." Luna started crying then, deep, wrenching sobs that shook her whole body. "I just wanted to save him. Jake had him in a cage, was going to sell him. I've been visiting for months, gaining his trust, planning to report it, but then Jake found out I knew about the others." "Others?" Harper asked gently. "In the basement," Luna whispered. "There were cages. Empty now. He moved them before the flooding, but Storm trusted me. I couldn't leave him." The paramedics arrived then, taking over Luna's care with professional efficiency. As they loaded her into the ambulance, Cliff turned to Culligan, who had been standing frozen on the porch. "You kidnapped my daughter?" Cliff said, his voice deadly quiet. Culligan broke down completely. "We were dating. For 6 months we were dating. She loved animals. I thought she'd understand the business. But when she found out, she threatened to turn me in. I just wanted time to convince her, to explain. I never meant for the flooding. I tried to get her out when the water started rising. I swear I did." Harper placed Culligan under arrest, reading him his rights while the young man sobbed about love and mistakes and chances. It was a familiar song, one Harper had heard too many times. People who confused control with care, who built prisons and called them protection. Later, at the hospital, the full story emerged. Luna had met Jake at a wildlife photography workshop. He'd seemed passionate about conservation, about protecting animals. She'd fallen for his apparent dedication, never suspecting it masked a darker truth. When she'd discovered the trafficking operation, she'd tried to gather evidence to save the animals properly. Storm, the bobcat, had been special. Hand-raised illegally from a cub, too habituated to humans to ever be truly wild again. "I was going to tell you, Dad," Luna said from her hospital bed, Officer Cliff holding her hand like she might disappear if he let go. "But I wanted to have proof first. I wanted to do things the right way." "You could have been killed," Cliff said, his voice rough. "But Storm would have died for certain," Luna replied. "When the flooding started, Jake moved the other animals but left Storm because he was too hard to handle. He only trusted me." Through the window, Harper could see the animal control vehicle where Storm was being held, pending evaluation by wildlife rehabilitators. The bobcat had been remarkably calm once reunited with Luna, allowing veterinary examination without sedation, a testament to their bond, however unconventionally formed. The afternoon sun slanted through the hospital windows, warming the sterile room. The flooding was already beginning to recede, the emergency response shifting from rescue to recovery. Jake Culligan would face serious charges: kidnapping, false imprisonment, wildlife trafficking. The other animals had been recovered from a storage unit on higher ground, all alive, all evidence of his crimes. But in that hospital room, as Luna dozed safely in her bed and her father kept vigilant watch, Harper thought about the strange chain of events that had led to her rescue. A bobcat's loyalty, a father's determination, the way love, even misguided love, could lead to both imprisonment and freedom. "Thank you," Cliff said quietly, not looking away from his daughter, "for trusting your instincts about that bobcat." Harper nodded, thinking of the fierce creature that had refused to abandon its post, that had known somehow that the humans in the boat were Luna's last hope. Sometimes the wildest hearts understand loyalty better than we do. Outside, the sun continued its arc across the Tennessee sky, turning the receding floodwaters into streams of gold. The storm had passed, leaving destruction in its wake, but also revealing truths that might have otherwise remained hidden. Luna would recover. Storm would find sanctuary at a wildlife rehabilitation center, one where Luna could visit, could continue the bond that had nearly cost her everything, but had also, in its way, saved her. As Harper left the hospital, he stopped by the animal control vehicle one more time. Storm was awake, alert, watching everything with those intelligent yellow eyes. When Harper approached, the bobcat didn't growl or bristle. Instead, it simply watched, as if assessing, as if understanding that they had been partners in something larger than either of them. "You did good," Harper told the bobcat. "You kept faith when it mattered." Storm blinked slowly, then turned to look toward the hospital, toward where Luna rested safe and healing. In that moment, Harper understood that some bonds transcend the boundaries we set between wild and tame, legal and illegal, right and wrong. Sometimes love is complicated, messy, dangerous. But sometimes, if we're lucky, it's also the very thing that saves us. The rescue team would talk about it for years afterward. The bobcat who wouldn't let go, the officer who trusted a wild animal's instincts, the girl who risked everything to save a creature that couldn't save itself. But for Harper, driving back through the flood-damaged town as the sun began its descent toward the mountains, it was simpler than that. It was about recognizing that help can come from the most unexpected places, that heroes don't always wear uniforms, and that sometimes the most important rescues are the ones where everyone, human and animal alike, ends up saving each other. The warm afternoon light blessed the damaged town with a gentle glow, promising that tomorrow would bring the beginning of rebuilding, of healing, of moving forward. And somewhere in that light, a bobcat named Storm would be starting his own journey toward a new life, carrying with him the memory of a girl who had loved him enough to risk everything, and who had, in return, been saved by his unwavering refusal to let her disappear beneath the waters of indifference.